welcome. You're watching the Newshour Agenda. I'm Padmaja Joshi. The entire world was celebrating, all practicing Hindus in the world were celebrating Krishna Janmashtami today, where religious fundamentalism raised its head yet again in our neighborhood, this time in Pakistan, where constantly minorities have been under attack. The people with a Taliban-like mindset in Pakistan struck again today, where an idol of Lord Krishna was vandalized in the Sindh province of Pakistan. The temple was desecrated. The idol was thrown to the ground and broken into pieces. This happened in Sindh, and this even as Janmashtami was being celebrated. Take a look at two contrasting images. Today, for the first time in many years, Lal Chowk in the heart of Srinagar was ringing with the cries of Jai Shri Krishna as Janmashtami was celebrated there. Devotees thronged across Srinagar celebrating, singing, and in our neighborhood in Pakistan, the Hindu faith was again under attack. Remember the very distressing images earlier of how a temple had been broken into by vandals who had gone around with heavy rods, with sticks, smashing into idols, smashing the entire temple. And today again something similar has happened, but this time it is in the Sindh province. Pradeep Datta is joining us live on this story. Earlier, the Pakistan Prime Minister had made a show of tolerance, talking about how the strictest action had been taken in the case of the earlier temple vandalism. Today, again, there has been such a case. Pradeep.
See, Padmaja, ever since we have seen that the Taliban have taken over Kabul, we have seen how it has galvanized jihadist elements all over. And not only that, but it has also encouraged Islamist radical. And this is not first time when the temple has been desecrated in Pakistan. In the past also there had been several incidents, but this incident took place on Janmashtami, when everybody was celebrating birth anniversary of Lord Krishna. And that was the day when miscreants entered inside the temple in Khipro area in Sindh province. They desecrated temple, they vandalized temple, they broke idol of Lord Krishna. And what can be more painful and shocking than this? And even after several hours, no action has been taken against the person responsible for this act. We have seen that just few days back in Rahim Yar Khan, also they had entered inside the temple in Punjab province, and that time also they had first desecrated temple, they had burnt temple. Over the period of time, the level of intolerance is increasing. But what is really more shocking is that the people who often keep on talking about Islamophobia, not a single person here in our country has raised voice about this thing. Is this not Hinduphobia? I think this question should be asked to them. And besides this, the criminal silence of anti-CA lobby, the people who had often keep on talking about that this CA law is discriminatory. Is this not a discrimination against the minority who continuously are being persecuted and they continue to suffer at the hands of Islamist radicals? Even
Absolutely.
If the
it is exactly this kind of rise in fundamentalist thought and it being put into practice that India has to guard against, especially given the conditions of our neighborhood. Thanks very much, Pradeep, for joining us. And that takes us straight to our big story of the day. Less than 24 hours left for the complete withdrawal of American troops from Afghanistan. India faces a very real and present moral dilemma. How should it engage with the Taliban, if at all? The reality is that even the Afghan people are now somehow having to reconcile themselves to the fact that the Taliban are here to stay. Should India take a stand and condemn the Taliban in unequivocal terms, or should it continue with its wait and watch policy? And this, remember, is happening even as domestic pressure is growing on the government. There are many who are wondering again and again, why has the Taliban, the mention of Taliban, been left out of the UNSC resolution? Why has the Indian government so far in all its interactions not made specific mention of the Taliban and expressed an opinion on their behavior so far, on their conduct so far, on the manner in which they have snatched power and snatched away the rights of people of Afghanistan? The Taliban, for its part, seems to be reaching out. You had a top official of the Taliban just 24 hours ago talking about the importance of India, how they want to engage with the country, how they have never supported any anti-India forces, and they do not want to let Afghan soil be the launch pad of any forces which are inimical to our interests. The question now is, does India find itself between a rock and a hard place? And what is the road forward?
You're watching the News Hour at 10. Debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Sanju Verma, national spokesperson of the BJP, joins us along with political analyst Vivek Srivastava and Vakar H. Bhatti and political analyst Sujata Paul. Sujata Paul, time and again, India has said clearly that our priority at this point is to ensure the safety of our people and that of our allies. Why is there a criticism of this measured, nuanced stand?
Because in scattered. We don't know what it wants to do, and I'll tell you why. Because our people are stuck in Afghanistan. We have, the BJP keeps calling people Talibani. Anybody who is opposing them is supposed to have a Talibani mindset.
And we don't know whether our government is willing to go along with the Taliban now or not. Because in the last 3 years, they have had meetings with them. The Doha and the Russia meetings are very recent ones. The Qatar minister has admitted to it. Now it is for the government to come out in the open and tell us whether they have been reaching out to the Taliban or whether it is the Taliban which is reaching out to them. We are putting our people into danger, and we look at this confusion. We have an Afghani parliamentarian who comes here for treatment.
One by one. Sanju Verma, so far the government of India has said that our priority is evacuation. In the next 24 hours, that will also be a part of history. What next? What do you do with the Taliban? Sanju Verma, I think you have muted your audio. Can you please fix that? All right, we'll just try and have that fixed. We are not getting your audio. Let's take the objections of Vivek Srivastava as well, and then we'll have you respond to both while we fix your audio. Vivek Srivastava.
I mean, nobody is against the Indian government if it is trying to evacuate the Indian citizens from Afghanistan. There's nothing wrong and it should be done. In fact, there was an all-party meeting recently done, and in which the government of India made the stand clear that it has to be a wait-and-watch policy, which is actually like you have to wait and see which way the government is going over there, what kind of a government is formed, what are going to be the rules of the government. And one thing that for the information of the people who are watching the program is that in February 2020, the Trump government had a meeting in Doha, Qatar, with the Taliban, and they declared that we want to move out. However, there were certain conditions, and the conditions were that the Taliban should have nothing to do with the ISIS and the Al-Qaeda and any other militant force which is against the United States of America. They also tried to make the Taliban promise that they should be more women-friendly and the rights should be supported. Non-state actors from India, China, Australia and many other countries, primarily the Western world, they also supported this particular act of the United States of America. So, I mean, seeing this in picture, now using the word Taliban, trying to psych up the Indian Muslims over here, try to show the Indian Muslims as Talibanis in a bad way, not differentiating between the ISIS
Indian Muslims in a bad way? What do Indian Muslims have to do with the Taliban? So you do a great disservice.
No, see,
they are Indians. Not Indian Muslims. Please, when it concerns the Taliban, everyone is an Indian, and let's stick to that.
Right. See, I'll tell
so, Sanju Verma, just a second. What is this self-flagellation? Why do we have to keep somehow berating ourselves? The problem is in Afghanistan, but we are so busy abusing ourselves for no good reason. Let's just focus on the Taliban for the time being. Sanju Verma.
Padmaja, you said...
Padmaja, am I audible?
Just a second, ma'am. Just a second. Let's Sanju Verma respond now. Sanju Verma.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible now.
Okay, thank you. Padmaja, I started by saying that this is a highly sensitive issue, and at this point in time, I think we all need to applaud this government for the fact that we have evacuated and rescued more than 565 people from Afghanistan, of which 263 were Indians, and the rest were all non-Indians of either Afghan origin, embassy officials, or other, people from different countries. I think if you look at the history of the Modi government with respect to its foreign policy in the last 7 years, there are a couple of things which are very clear. A, we have never negotiated at a policy level with a terror militia group. And I would like to remind the other panelists of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's famous speech of 2016 at the plenary session of the BRICS in Goa, where he said Pakistan is the mothership of terrorism. And then again last year, while celebrating, please let me complete.
Today the government of India has a different state,
this is unfair.
madam.
Can this man be
Ma'am,
stopped from
government of India ka
Okay,
stand padke
okay,
nahi hai.
please. For a change, let us have a non-heckly debate. Let Sanju Verma finish, then you come back, Mr. Srivastav. Yes.
Okay. And, I think the fact that terror and talks don't go together, that was again reinforced by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, no less, when he celebrated Diwali last year with our Jawans at Jaisalmer. And he clearly...
So tell me this, right now, the Taliban has made it very clear, it is killing Hazaras, it is killing Shias, it has helped in the release of a man who is a designated terrorist in India, who is responsible for ISIS recruitment in India, and to top it all, Osama bin Laden's erstwhile, right-hand man is now back in Afghanistan and people are welcoming him with open arms. It's no secret anymore what the Taliban or the Taliban government, call it what you will, stand for. 20 days from now, is India still going to insist that we will have nothing to do with them?
Padmaja, I think you, made a very interesting point. Let me tell you categorically that, I was just finishing my sentence that last year at Jaisalmer, if you recall, Prime Minister Modi said that expansionism is a very 18th century mindset. And I will just take that forward and tell you that, at this point in time,
Ma'am, please talk about Taliban in Afghanistan today.
Has been on our topmost agenda is because it's not like you pick up people, put them in a plane and get them here. You need to negotiate with Iran because, some airspaces are controlled by Iran. You need to negotiate with Tajikistan because some airspaces are controlled by Tajikistan and the Russians there. Some airspaces need to be negotiated with the Qataris. Then you also need to negotiate with some people from different countries.
So what Sanju Verma is not saying directly, because at this point no one can say it directly, that the interest of this country lies in actually waiting and watching. When even world powers have not made their next step clear, how do you expect India to take a position, Sujata Paul? It's just plain foolish. How can we take a position? Nobody is taken a position.
No, but why is it that we have secret meetings happening? The point is that we have always been non-aligned. We have never allied in people's fights. We have only bothered about our country, our people. But now look at this. Mr. Jaishankar tweeted a few days back where he said that we will be cooperating with the people of Afghanistan because we have 500 projects in Afghanistan. He has tweeted it, Ms. Sanju Verma. Go and check it. Yes.
So you are on the side of the people of Afghanistan. You can't say we are on side of the terror outfit which has taken over Afghanistan.
Who told you?
Exactly. And when we tell people that they have a Talibani mindset because we need to communalize and polarize due to state elections, what are we doing? We are putting our people at risk. And our foreign policy is in shambles because of this reason. That is exactly what I was trying to say initially also. That our foreign policy should be made clear. Was our government not meeting Taliban in Doha and Russia? Why were we doing it? That means we are in talks with them. We will only be concerned about the people of
foreign
India.
policy is absolutely clear, but it is made clear in forums like the all-party meeting, not on Twitter and certainly not on a 10 p.m. TV debate, but clearly in an all-party meeting where a complete debriefing was given by the Foreign Secretary and the External Affairs Minister. All of this and more would have been brought up. And luckily for us, on that one day, everyone was unanimous in supporting India's stand. Can we not have that continue for the rest of the period as well?
We are always going to stand with our government as long as we know that our people in Afghanistan are safe. They will be evacuated safely, and we are not going to agitate Taliban by calling people in India Talibani mindset or the opposition so that people over there are harmed. There are circles within circles.
Ma'am, with due respect, I think the last concern of our country at this point would be to hurt the feelings of the Taliban. Yes,
That's what
sure.
you're
We have to take a measured and nuanced position vis-a-vis where we stand
Yes.
with them diplomatically. But it's not like the Taliban are sitting on Twitter and saying, "Oh my God, India is calling so and so with the Talibani mindset. Now we are deeply hurt." Let me bring in Waqar Bhatti as well. Waqar Bhatti, at this point, what do you stand for? The interest of the country, and see that we do whatever is best suited for us, even if that means that we take no stand at all.
मैडम जी, आज कितने दिन हो गए तालिबान के ऊपर डिबेट करते हुए? मेरा सवाल है.
Sorry, Mr. Bhatti, your voice is not clear. क्या बोल रहे हैं आप?
मेरी वॉइस मिल रही है आपको?
आप बिल्कुल साफ मिल रही है, बताइए सर.
जी, मैं ये कह रहा हूँ कि कितने दिन हो गए मैडम जी हमें तालिबान के ऊपर डिबेट करते हुए?
जितनी देर उनको टेक ओवर करते हुए हो गया.
जी मैडम, तो मुझे लगता है कि उन्होंने भारत के ऊपर तो कब्जा नहीं किया, अपने ही मुल्क के ऊपर कब्जा किया है. एक सत्ता को हटा के खुद सत्ता पे आ रहे हैं. तो अगर भारत के ऊपर वो कब्जा करते तो ठीक है, डिबेट इतना होता तो हमें भी अच्छा लगता कि ठीक है, भारत के ऊपर किसी मुल्क ने आके कब्जा कर दिया है और तालिबान यहाँ हुकूमत करने जा रहा है और हमारा मीडिया इस टाइम उसके ऊपर डिबेट करता है, तो अच्छा भी लगता, हमें भी बात करना, उनके ऊपर रिएक्ट करना अच्छा लगता.
पॉइंट पे आइए ना.
इस टाइम अच्छा नहीं लगता हमें. क्यों करें हम तालिबान के ऊपर डिबेट?
आपको तालिबान पे डिबेट नहीं करना
तो यहाँ नहीं डिबेट करनी है, बट यहाँ हिंदुस्तान के ऊपर जो तालिबान है, जो हिंदुस्तान में गाय के ऊपर, जमीन लैंड के ऊपर रोज लोगों को मारता है, पीटता है, जय श्री राम के नाम के ऊपर उनकी हत्या करता है, उनके ऊपर
भट्टी साहब, प्रॉब्लम ये है ना कि तालिबान, इंडिया में तालिबान बोलना बहुत आसान होता है, बिकॉज वो बोलने के लिए सब लोगों को कोई खामियाजा नहीं भुगतना पड़ता, एक्सेप्ट इन द रियल प्लेस वेयर देयर इज द रियल तालिबान. यू कांट इवन कॉल देम तालिबान और यू कांट इवन डिक्राई देम फॉर व्हाट दे डू, बिकॉज देन यू डोंट स्टे अलाइव. एनीहाउ, बट आप मुद्दे पे आइए.
तालिबान की सपोर्ट करता हूँ मैं, तो खुलेआम तालिबान की सपोर्ट करता हूँ. मैं कह रहा हूँ जो तालिबान ने किया है, जो करने जा रहा है, तालिबान बिल्कुल सही है, क्योंकि तालिबान के ऊपर अमेरिका ने कब्जा किया था. अमेरिका ने उनके बच्चे, वाइफ, उनकी हत्या की, उनका कत्लेआम किया. आज अमेरिका को तुम अपना कुत्ते की तरह भागना पड़ा अपने मुल्क में वापस, और तालिबान अपने मुल्क में कब्जा कर.
कमाल है भट्टी साहब, एक हफ्ते पहले तो आप मेरे शो पे कह रहे थे कि इंडियन पुलिस को आपको प्रोटेक्शन देना चाहिए. आज आप तालिबान का गुणगान कर रहे हैं. उन्हीं से सपोर्ट ले लीजिए ना, उन्हीं से प्रोटेक्शन ले लीजिए. ये कमाल है, श्रीनगर में बैठ के आपको प्रोटेक्शन चाहिए जेकेपी की, और तालिबान का आप सपोर्ट करेंगे.
मैडम जी, मेरा जैसा एक दोस्त बाबर कादरी को भी सिक्योरिटी मांगते मांगते शहीद कर दिया गया था, किसी ने सिक्योरिटी नहीं दी थी. बीजेपी के यहाँ एक वर्कर है ना मैडम जी, जो गली का लीडर है ना, उसके पास भी 15.
अच्छा, एनीवे, लेट्स मूव ऑन. लेट्स मूव ऑन. व्हाट इज योर पॉइंट? यू हैव नो पॉइंट. संजू वर्मा वांट्स टू रिस्पोंड टू.
सुनिए मैडम जी, मैं सीधा मेरा पॉइंट ये है कि हम चाहते हैं कि जो तालिबान जो करने जा रहा है, तो जो तालिबान ने किया है, हम तालिबान के साथ हैं. जो तालिबान करेगा, आगे भी जो करेगा, बिल्कुल ठीक कर रहा है. और शरीयत की जहां तक बात है, शरीयत जिस मुल्क में भी रहेगी, एज पर मुस्लिम, मैं एक मुस्लिम हूं और मेरे लिए शरीयत सबसे पहले है, चाहे वो जम्मू कश्मीर हो, चाहे वो भारत हो. मैं कुरान और हदीस से पहले किसी को नहीं तवज्जो दूंगा, ना मैं किसी को एक्सेप्ट करूंगा.
I would also very humbly request you to please speak for yourself. I do not think anyone has appointed you the spokesperson for all the Muslims in the country, least of all the Taliban. Sanju Verma, respond.
तालिबान के लिए तो कह रहा हूं.
This man not interrupt me. आपकी बात सुनिए, अभी मुझे बोलने दीजिए. First and foremost, those who say that Narendra Modi's foreign policy is in shambles, I think this is the first government which actually dehydrated its Israel policy with that of Palestine. This is the first government which actually took the initiative of ensuring that under Operation Rahat we rescued more than 4,000 people from Yemen across 48 nationalities, and ensuring that for us, universalization within the foreign policy is not just a platitude but something we believe in when it comes to being partners with the rest of the world. This is the same Modi government which rescued over 7,000 Ukrainians, 600 Indian nurses under Operation Sankat Mochan in Syria. So Sujata Paul, please don't lecture without having facts at your disposal. And the most important point, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is not Jawaharlal Nehru.
Nawaz Sharif ke biryani khane gaye the Pradhan Mantri. That is the foreign policy.
That's all in the past. I mean, for the last 7 years, we have discussed that biryani, for more than what it was worth. Anyway, let it be. I think this is a far more complex subject, and the outcome of this we will get to know in quite a few days from now, because this is not the kind of decision that you can take in a week or 2 weeks, given that literally the future of the entire region could be decided by which way India goes. For the time being, though, thank you very much, all gentlemen, Sujata Paul and Sanju Verma, for having joined me.